Hello and welcome to Tamar Caravan Centre. I'm just going to do a quick video to explain how to use the Alde central heating system. So to turn the control panel on, you simply press this button just here. It'll just take a few seconds to boot up. That will then bring you to what I call the home page or the resting page. So at the moment we can see that we're currently at 16 degrees. So if you press menu, this is the home page. So at the moment, the top one is the internal temperature, hot water, how you want to feed it, and then you've got gas and your settings. So from the home page, we can then adjust the internal temperature, the hot water, and then the electric. What we want to do is, first of all, choose how we want to heat the van or power the van. So we've got mains electric. So you've got 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, or 3 kilowatts. I always recommend using 1 kilowatt, that's around about 4.2 amps. So then what we want to do is select what heat that we want. So this is the internal heating. So at the moment we're at 16 degrees. So we want to have it a little bit warmer than that. So this is a touchscreen panel and you literally just turn it up to the temperature that you want it to be. Let's just say 22 degrees. So now what will happen is that the heating system will switch on and start heating to the required temperature like that. Then what I'd like to do is turn the hot water on. So that's this control panel just here. So what you do is you press the little blue plus. This will sit to the halfway. So the halfway is kind of like your eco mode. So basically that's where I'd recommend running all the time if you wanted to do your dishes or have a shower or that sort of thing. If you've just had a shower and you've drained the 15-litre hot water tank empty and it's refilled with cold water and you want to then boost that hot water back up to temperature, you select it again and go to the full volume, and that is your boost. What that will do is take it'll momentarily turn the heating system for the internal heating system off in the van, and it will use all of the energy to try and heat that hot water up as quickly as it can. Once it's got to temperature, you can then turn it back to eco, and that will just keep it running on the eco setting. So you can operate this on electric on its own, so 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts. You can also have a mix of gas and electric, or you can just have gas running on its own. So you'll notice on this control panel there's a little grey button just here. If it's grey, that basically means they're not relevant for this particular model. So if they're greyed, they can't be used. This little blue cog button is your settings. So I'm going to briefly explain this for you a second. So press on this one, it takes you into page 1 of 4. So the first one is your night mode. So you can turn the night mode on like this. You then select the temperature that you want it to be. Let's just say 18 degrees. What time you want it to come on. So if you want it to come on at 10 o'clock and then every day, if you don't want it on every day, you just select the day that you want it to come on and back to all. Okay. What time you want it to stop. So we want to stop at 6 in the morning. Okay. Night mode on. Go back to the home screen like that. So when you come back to the home page, you'll notice that there's an accessory function active. So if you click on this one, you can see that it's the night mode that is on. So you just select on that one. If you don't want night mode on anymore, you can just turn it off there like that, and then go back to the home screen like that. So back into settings, then we have a day version of that. So you have a day mode on, what temperature you'd like it to be, what time you'd like it to come on, so every day at that time, or you can select the day you want, back to all days, what time you'd like it to come off, and then you leave it on if you want it on, or turn it off if you want it off. That one takes you back to the home page. Then you have the priorities here. So this is your mains, is your priority, but if you're camping off grid, you can change it to gas. But if you camp at sites, then you want to leave that one on mains. The next one is for your backlight. So you've got your brightness, so you can turn this one up and down. You have invert, which will blank the screen right off, or you have dark, which is your night mode. So you'll see on this one there's a grey blanked off section. That one's for motorhome, so don't worry about that on this particular van. This one here is for setting the day and the time. So if you set your night mode and your day mode, you need to program in the correct day and time. Go down to the next page. So all of these ones are grey, so they're not relevant for the caravans. Then we have this one here, which is your bug killer. So once every 6 months, you want to just press this one on. It'll heat up the heating system hot and kill off any bacteria that's in the system. You literally just turn that one back off there like that. This one is so you can offset the temperature. So on this particular van, we have the Swift command panel. So you can notice that there'll be two different internal temperatures. So if you wanted one to match the other, then you can just offset this one to match the command panel. If you're traveling to high altitude, you'll need to work on a different system setting because it works under a different pressure. So you set that you're at a high altitude and switch on. If you're not, just make sure you leave that one on off. So this one here is the a beep. So you literally have a beep function which is on and off like this. So you can turn that beep function on and off. The next one is a delayed start. So if you wanted to program it in to start a little bit later on one particular occasion and turn off, then you can just set the date and time to come on there like that. This one here is a recirculation for the heating system. So there's a thermostat which it's currently running on. So what it'll do is it'll get to the temperature that we've set and it'll hover there or thereabouts and it'll start to sink down. As it drops below a certain amount, it then kick back in. On the alternative to that, you can run it on a continuous. So if you set it at 22 degrees and you want it to stay at 22 degrees, leave it on continuous and that will just keep running at that desired temperature. I always like to leave mine on thermostat. So on the last settings page, we've got reset. So if you had set lots of dates and times for the night mode, the day mode, or if there is any kind of little niggles in the system, if you just press reset, that'll reboot it back to factory settings. This one here is the external switch. So on certain vans and certain models, there's an external switch. This particular van doesn't have one, so we leave it off. But if you've got a separate switch for your heating system, you've got external or 12 volt, 230 volt switch. But this one's manual, so you just leave that switch off. This one's for your language if you want to practice your French. Servicing, don't go into that one. That's where our guys go when they go to do the servicing on the vans. This one is installed accessories. So if you press onto this one, so if you wanted to use the Swift Command app or the control panel to operate the heating system on this van, you select third party panel. So the little green tick is in there. If you don't want to use that one and you want to use this Alde system, which is very quick and easy to use, make sure you untick that one like that. There's no optional pump required on this van, and there is also a load monitor so you can set a load, but on the Swift Command panel there is one of those as well. And if you press this back button and back again, it takes you back to the home page. So that's at the home page. If you want to turn the control panel off, you simply press the power button there like that.